What is up? What is up? How y'all doing? I'm glad you could be here. Welcome to React with the Bat. Y'all know my co-host, Sean Cody. Yeah, I was just talking to Sean, and I think I'm gonna stop streaming my lives on StreamYard because it's getting too expensive. I mean, I'm doing the free stuff right now, which is okay, but I want to like a little, to upgrade a little bit more on my videos. But I looked at StreamYard, and StreamYard $35.99 for the core, and the advance for StreamYard is, how much did I say it was? $68.99 a month. Regular price is actually $88.99 a month, and I'm like, man, that's too damn expensive. Florida, how you doing? Horror,
Florida.
how you doing? Hey, I missed your live. I caught your
Hey,
first
Face.
your live last time, but
Horror,
I missed
horror.
this one. Face, what's going on, my brother? Hey,
ET.
hey, hey, Face, you saying Sparky is you or Sparky is somebody else? Johnny Small Pepper, what's going on? ET's on here somewhere. I saw ET. But yeah, I might end up, I'm looking for a new place to stream my videos and stuff on YouTube for YouTube and other channels.
Ouch.
Man, I am like, I have
Okay.
clutter
Real
here.
quickly.
I sprained my ankle on Sunday. It's getting better, but still swollen. Oh man, sorry to hear that. Put some ice on it, or take an ice. What they call that? An ice bath. You're gonna be freezing.
Yeah, just come to Lake Michigan, put your feet in the water there. Water's cold.
Yeah, yeah, Florina. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry you sprained your ankle. I know how that feels, though. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, it sucks.
yeah, it really does. Horror. Yeah, hey, I caught not well. It was your live, but you was explaining what was that? Man, I get it. I think sometimes I got pigeon brain because sometimes I see something and then I forget it like the next hour. Yes, I have been using ice pack
I hate
and
when I go to, I got something I want to look up really quick. Cause like, oh, I just thought of something I want to look up really quick. Grab my phone. Then, I haven't picked up my phone in a little while. I see all these notifications and I look at the notifications and I start up the Google Chrome to look up what I was going and I'm like, oh, what was I going to look up now?
that just happened to me too again with the streaming app. I was gonna show you the streaming app and I forgot the name of it already. And now I mean I have to go through the whole thing again.
I get
But
distracted by all the other notifications and stuff like that. I got to remember to just not just ignore the notifications. Get to what I'm looking for.
awesome, thank you.
Then you look at the notifications afterwards.
Hold on. She said, I lost what you were trying to say, but I shared you out. Thank you. I appreciate that. Uh, well, yeah, I'm actually, I'm looking into a new streaming service that I don't have to pay so much money. Because before StreamYard was what, $25.99 a month? And I don't know how in the world they jumped to so much real quick. It's just nothing. I only share out channels I like and support. I appreciate that, and I love your channel. I mean, I love the history that you tell on your channel and stuff. The ghost and all that stuff. I really do, and I thank you for your support. And I'm glad that you like my channel. I don't know why, but I'm glad. Everyone feels that with the stream program. Yeah. I rather use YouTube live stream channel. Yeah, but YouTube live stream channel is good, but I don't think you can bring anybody up, can you?
I know they were supposed to change that. I don't know if they ever did. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I don't know if you could do that. I don't know if you could actually stream another channel, like what I'm doing now
Yeah, have
streaming
panel of people.
videos.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you could do that. Thank you, I appreciate that. I mean, you know, I try to be a nice person. I mean, if anybody like disrespect any of my friends or myself or my family, I'm a whole total different person. But in all reality, I am a nice guy. You can even ask Sean. Um, you know, I try to be good to everybody, and I appreciate y'all support.
Pretty much how you see me here is how you see me in real life too. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I'm a
Yeah,
jokester. I like to play jokes
right.
as well. So,
Like to have fun and chit chat.
Yeah.
But I'm not pretending to be somebody I'm not. So I'm just me.
Bat Rican and Sean Cody are big time
Big time.
YouTubers.
I know
A
some
big
bigger
time. I wouldn't say big time. Horror got more subscribers than I do. She's big
ones.
time.
Yeah,
What
I
you
know.
talking
I know
about?
some bigger time YouTubers than me.
Yeah. But today we're gonna watch a new channel. It's called, what was it called? Mystical Facts, I think it's called. I apologize if I got that wrong. I'm not sure, but like I said, I got like pigeon brain sometimes. And the video we're gonna watch: 39 mystical creatures that really exist. Now, I'm hoping that's like existed back then and not now. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just crazy, and I don't know what this guy's gonna say. And I mean, 39 mystical creatures, so it might go by fast. So I hope not. I mean, explain what kind of creatures they are. It's not all drama. Some people do things on their life I don't agree with or find professional. You are welcome. Okay, awesome. All right. I almost played it without bringing it up.
Rick watching it, and we're all sitting here. What's going on?
Hey, why you guys are not watching this, man? Here we go.
Yes, it takes
Our
some
time,
sunflower.
or the
Just I thought it was a
terrifying
big
creatures from thousands of years
giant
ago.
worm.
These beings
SpongeBob.
were not just products of human imagination. They actually roamed this earth. Number 39, Fenrir. In Norse mythology, a giant wolf named Fenrir is very famous. You might recognize a
That's a
fictional
dire
version
wolf.
of Fenrir from the movie Thor, Ragnarok. However, Fenrir isn't the only giant wolf found in myths. In the real world, about 10,000 years ago during the Ice Age, massive wolves known as dire wolves roamed the earth.
See?
These predators were 25% larger than modern wolves and far more powerful, making them formidable.
Hold on. Before we keep on playing on this video, did you know that they scientists reborn dire wolves?
Yeah, I heard about that.
I would love to have one as a pet, but I don't know how they'll behave. Man, those are huge freaking wolves.
They also don't know if they're
man.
going to grow. They don't know if they're going to grow to the full size of a original dire wolf because of what they had to use.
They were mixed with gray wolf and
something like that. Yeah,
else.
so they might not grow to anything.
I mean,
maybe.
you shouldn't call it a dire wolf because that's what everybody knows. Dire wolves are like huge, big dogs, almost as half your house or whatnot. Timber wolves are massive already. Yeah, timber wolves are massive. I mean, they're huge. But see, I love wolves. I love them because they look so cool, so mean looking, and I would love to have a dire wolf, but a friendly one, not one of those. Then that's it, you're gone. But yeah, I mean, they were mixed with gray wolf, so you're right. They might not grow as big as they're supposed to, but they shouldn't call it dire wolf. They just should call it a mixed breed of some sort.
Hunters. Dire wolves specialized in taking down the megafauna of their time. However, as the Ice Age came to an end, much of their prey disappeared, leading to their extinction. Meanwhile, their smaller cousins,
scary
gray
up
wolves,
close.
managed to survive and continue to thrive today. Number 38. Four-tusked elephants. In Hindu mythology,
Oh, that's
four-tusked
cool.
elephants are often mentioned, with the deity Airavata riding one as his mount.
Nice.
These mythical creatures also appear in the epic Ramayana. Surprisingly, creatures resembling these mythical elephants existed
What?
millions of years ago. Relatives of modern
had
elephants, such as the
coming
Gomphotheres, roamed the
Four-tusked,
earth about
yeah.
2 to
Huh.
3 million years ago. These ancient giants had 4 tusks, using their lower pair like shovels to feed on vegetation. During this time, early humans like Homo erectus were evolving. It's plausible that fossils of Gomphotheres, discovered by early humans, inspired the tales of four-tusked elephants.
I
in
never
Hindu
heard of that
mythology.
before. Four-tusked elephant? I mean, did school teach you that?
Number 37.
Really?
Mapinguari.
I know the
woolly
In the heart
mammoth.
of the Amazon rainforest, tribal legends tell of a creature known as
No.
Mapinguari. Descriptions of this being include a single eye, a mouth on its stomach, and a fierce role as the jungle's protector. While many believe Mapinguari is purely mythical, history points
Not
to a
big,
potential origin.
I've heard
During
the
the
name
Ice
before.
Age,
Never
the
heard-
Amazon
never
was
seen
home
a
to giant ground
description of it.
sloths, massive creatures as large as elephants. Their unique features might have inspired the myth of Mapinguari. Unfortunately, like many Ice Age giants,
I would hate
giant
to
ground
see that
sloths went
Mapinguari,
extinct
whatever
around
that
is. Yeah, that'd be
100,000
scary.
years ago due to climate
Yeah.
change and human hunting. Over time, tribal stories
giant
about these
sloth.
creatures may have
Or
transformed
when you
into
say
the
it
legend
was
of
cool, what
Mapinguari.
did it
Number
pass on?
36,
Did it-
Griffin. Throughout
did
history,
it die?
humans have revered lions as the rulers of the land and eagles as the kings of the sky. Ancient people, upon discovering the fossils of ceratopsian dinosaurs, likely imagined a hybrid of these two majestic animals, giving rise to the mythical griffin. A real-world
griffin.
counterpart to this legendary creature existed in New Zealand just 700 years ago. Haast's eagles were the largest eagles ever known, capable of preying on moa, flightless birds weighing up to 250 kilograms. These apex predators had no difficulty hunting moa, given their size and strength. However,
Wow.
when the Maori people arrived in New Zealand around 1300 AD, they hunted moa to extinction, which ultimately led to the extinction of Haast's eagles as well. Number 35, Kappa.
Well, I'm sorry
if
to
you've ever
hear
watched
that.
Doraemon, you might remember the Kappa, a creature from Japanese mythology. Kappa is described as a turtle-like monster that drags humans into water and eats them
Gamera?
raw. Interestingly, prehistoric creatures resembling the Kappa once existed. Archelon, the largest turtle species ever discovered, lived during the age of dinosaurs. These massive turtles could reach lengths of 15 feet and had powerful beaks capable of crushing tough shells. If Archelon
Oh, that
were
was-
alive
that's
today,
cool.
its appearance and
I
behavior
love
could easily
huskies.
inspire legends like that of the Kappa. Number 34, the bloop. In 1997,
I heard of
a
the bloop.
mysterious and powerful sound was detected in the
Bloop.
Pacific Ocean.
Farted.
Oh
The
my
sound,
God,
nicknamed
man.
the bloop, traveled
I'm like, I'm, you know, I go to the ocean when I'm in Panama and I'm swimming and I think about sharks. Now I got to think about the bloop. But I think they only live in the deep, deep part, right?
You'd better hope.
over vast distances, sparking theories that it originated
awesome.
from a
I love
colossal
dogs.
sea creature.
I
For a
love
sound
dogs
of such
too.
magnitude, the creature would have to be 100
Too bad
times
I can't have
larger
a
than
dog
blue
here,
whale.
though.
This speculation gave rise to the mythical modern creature called the bloop. However, scientists later revealed that the sound was caused by melting icebergs in the Antarctic Ocean. Despite this explanation, the idea of an undiscovered giant creature isn't far-fetched. Prehistoric oceans hosted enormous
That is
species like
scary
reed
as
cichlids,
heck.
a fish that opened its 40,000 tooth-filled mouth wide enough to resemble the mythical bloop. Number 33, giant bovids. Bovids, including cattle, buffalo, and bison, hold a revered place in many cultures. Greek mythology features bovid-inspired monsters, while Native American and Hindu traditions honor these creatures as sacred.
Wow.
But did giant bovids exist in reality? Yes. During the Ice Age, a
Did
species
they really?
called bison latifrons roamed North America. This was the largest and heaviest bovid ever known, as big as an SUV, with horns so wide that a car could fit between them. Bison latifrons evolved from the steppe bison, whose remains are still found frozen in Siberian ice. Sadly, like many Ice Age giants, these majestic creatures went extinct due to human hunting and climate changes at the end of the Ice Age. Number 32, unicorns. We hear about unicorns in fairy tales, but where did
Come
that
on,
idea
unicorn
come from?
can't be
Thousands
real.
of years ago, people in the Indus
can't
Valley
be
drew a
real, can
one-horned
they?
animal on small stone stamps. Some believe they were just myths, but a real animal similar to them once existed. During the Ice Age, a massive beast called Elasmotherium roamed the land. It looked like a rhino, had a horn
Somebody
as tall as a
told me
person, and was one of
somebody
the
actually
largest
put it
animals
in
humans
a
ever
certain
hunted.
way about the
But
unicorn.
climate change and modern
Right.
humans led to its
But,
extinction. So unicorns weren't
it's
just
much more
legends.
believable.
We just hunted
I
them to
told
death.
you, a
Number
horse-looking
31,
creature
dwarves.
with that has
Dwarves have been
a
in
horn
myth-
growing on his head, or a spotted leopard-looking moose with a 10-foot neck.
Oh, like a giraffe.
Yeah.
The giraffe. Okay, I'm like, hold on. There's a spotted looking moose.
Yeah,
No,
leopard,
it-
a spotted leopard-looking moose, with a 10-foot neck, which is more believable. I'd go with the horse with the horn.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What you
giraffe
mean
is
you don't
real and
believe
the
in
unicorn's not.
unicorns, Ace? What you mean? We're all well, the males could be unicorns, the horn is somewhere else.
myths for over 1,000 years. But what if they actually walked among us? About 50,000 years ago, a small human species called Homo floresiensis lived on an island in Indonesia. They were much shorter than us, so tiny people called them
E.T.,
hobbits.
really?
Life was tough. They had to survive next to giant predators like Komodo dragons. But they weren't born small by accident. When bigger humans arrived 100,000 years ago, the island's isolation caused them to shrink over time, a survival trick called insular dwarfism. So
No.
dwarves weren't just characters from stories. We just never met them. Number 30, Yeti and Bigfoot. You've probably heard about a big hairy creature walking on two legs called the Yeti in the Himalayas and Bigfoot
I
in
was
North
gonna say
America.
something,
In
but I-
1951,
I'll
climbers
leave it
near
alone.
Mount Everest found massive footprints in the snow. People thought they belonged to the Yeti, but in 2017, DNA tests showed the prints came from rare Himalayan bears. So was the Yeti just a bear or something else? In 1967, a video claimed to capture Bigfoot in the wild. Many called it fake, but in 2022, when experts re-examined the video in 4K, they noticed the suit didn't match anything made by humans. And here's where things get wild. 3.7 million years ago, a small creature called Australopithecus walked upright in Africa. They were only 4 feet tall and had small brains,
E.T.,
but they
what's
walked
going
like
on, my
us,
brother?
and may have even eaten meat.
Hey,
Number
E.T.
29, Loch Ness Monster. People in Scotland have claimed for centuries to see a huge mysterious creature in
That's
Loch Ness
scary
with
too,
a long
man.
neck and a dinosaur-like
Anything in
body.
the ocean
But
is
despite
scary.
Yeah, a lot
sonar
of things in the
scans
water
and
are
underwater
kinda-
cameras, no one has found solid proof. Therefore, most scientists think the monster is a mix of
Because you can't
hoaxes
see
and
it,
mistaken
you know?
sightings. But millions of years ago, something very similar did exist: the Plesiosaurus.
You
It wasn't a
can, but
dinosaur,
right,
but it
by
lived
the
at the
time
same
you see
time,
it, it's-
with
it's too
flippers like
late.
paddles
Yeah.
and a neck as long as a giraffe's. It ruled the
They left
oceans
the
for
spotted
150
moose.
million years.
Yeah,
Then,
the
like the
spotted- yeah, the
dinosaurs,
spotted moose
it
with a
vanished in a
10-foot
mass
neck.
extinction. Therefore, if Plesiosaurus went extinct so long ago, so how have people seen it in Loch Ness for over 1,500 years? The logical explanation is that someone found a plesiosaur fossil and mistook it for the Loch Ness monster. Number 28, giant serpents. Giant snakes show up in stories across the world,
I've
from
seen that thing.
Jormungandr in Roman
They-
tales to Vasuki in Hindu myths.
They-
But these monsters weren't
Really?
all make-believe, because scientists found fossils of Titanoboa, a snake as long as a city bus,
I
and
believe
Vasuki
that. I
indicus,
believe
which
giant
was even
snakes
longer,
exist.
nearly 50 feet. Titanoboa lived in South America's swamps and crushed prey with its body. Vasuki was found in India, which links it back to the ancient stories. Therefore, scientists named it after the legendary serpent. So these weren't just giant snakes in myths, they were real hunters, bigger
Wow.
and scarier than all the animals alive today. Number 27, dragons. Dragons appear in legends everywhere. In Asia, they are often shown without wings and soaring through clouds to control the rain. Meanwhile, European dragons are winged and known for breathing fire. Some believe these tales began when people found huge bones and imagined dragons. But millions of years ago, something just as amazing ruled the skies. Quetzalcoatlus. This flying reptile stood as
Pterodactyl.
tall as a giraffe and had wings wider than a school bus. It didn't flap like a bird, though. Instead, it launched itself into the air and soared like a glider. Some scientists think it also hunted on land, using its long beak to snap up baby dinosaurs. So what happened to it? The same asteroid that killed the dinosaurs wiped it out too. But its legacy lives on in hawks and eagles, just smaller and less terrifying. Number 26, Cthulhu. Cthulhu is a creepy sea monster from a
I mean, less terrified, they could still swoop up a dog, a baby. I seen one of those hawks grab a baby, but he wasn't strong enough to lift him all the way up. Lucky, when they dropped the baby still survived and landed, safe. I believe
the
in
condor
a lot of
too, man. A condor couldn't do that.
Yeah, but they shouldn't say that that they're just less. I mean, they can. They're still scary to me.
It'd be better than
Absolutely
it's better
right.
than that other thing flying around. It'd probably be attacking humans instead of as well.
Yeah.
Everything would be prey.
Mhm. Everything they adapt. Yeah, they have to adapt to the world. It's like us. The world moves fast. If we don't adapt to it, we'll be lost. Yeah, that's because I think the lady left the what they call that, the buggy carriage. I think it's the carriage alone, and the hawk. It was a hawk. It wasn't an eagle. If it was an eagle, it would have taken off because those are very powerful. Grab the baby and try to fly with it. And since the eagle knew that it couldn't go any higher, so just let it go. And they also grab puppies, so you got to watch your dogs, your little dogs, your chihuahuas, especially chihuahuas.
Yeah, chickens. I
1928
know people
horror
have
story
chickens around
said
here.
to
And
haunt
they
dreams
watch-
Yeah,
from the
chicken
depths
hawks.
of the ocean. But
You can
long
see the
before
hawks
that
flying
tale,
around.
real sea monsters ruled the deep. One was Tusoteuthis, a massive squid-like creature that reached 40 feet long.
Talon-
That's 2 giraffes
talon-
laid end to end. It had a hard shell inside, which made it stronger
Yeah,
and faster than modern
I mean, it
squid.
had
It hunted
jacket,
giant
it had a
fish
coat
and
on.
even baby marine reptiles. But like many others, it disappeared when the asteroid hit 66 million years ago. Cthulhu might be a story, but Tusoteuthis was real. And here's something to think about. We've explored only 5% of the ocean. So if
big
monsters like
squids
that
like
existed
that.
before, what else is hiding in the dark? Number 25, Kraken. As far back as the 12th century, sailors and people living near the sea told scary stories about the Kraken, a giant sea monster that looked like a squid. They said it attacked ships and pulled them underwater. The story probably began in the waters around Norway, Iceland, and Greenland. It spoke of a huge creature with long arms that could grab whales or smash large ships. The Kraken didn't just attack, it pulled ships down and made a strong whirlpool that sank everything and everyone
Wow.
on board. Like many old stories, this one was probably made bigger and scarier over time. But the first report of someone seeing the Kraken goes back to the year 1180. At that time, sailors didn't know about giant squids. So when they saw something strange in the
The first time I heard the name the Kraken, I only saw it in the movie. What's the name of the movie? Clash of the Titan.
Oh, the Clash of the Titans, yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever heard the name the Kraken. I thought they just made that up. Then it come to find out it's real.
It
There's
wasn't
big
the
squid
Kraken
out-
in that movie. Wasn't the Kraken more like Cthulhu?
Something like it, yeah. Well, in Pirates of the Caribbean, they had
Yeah,
the
Pirates of
Kraken.
the Caribbean. It was Kraken like
Yeah.
we were seeing. I
Uh-huh.
think there's actually some of the clips from Pirates of the Caribbean there.
Yeah,
water, they thought it was a sea monster that ate people.
There it is,
But what if
yeah.
the stories were true? In 1853, something big washed up on a beach in Denmark.
That's
It was a huge
James
sea
Bond.
animal. The
Ah!
first time something like that had been seen up close, and it looked a lot like the Kraken from the old stories. Since then, scientists have asked how many kinds of
That's-
giant squid exist and how big they can get. But can any of them reach the size people talked about in the past? Think about this. Animals like the Megalodon and Nothosaurus were real, and the biggest squid found so far was 43 feet long, about 13 meters. So many believe a squid that big could be real. But that's not all. In 2011, scientists found bones from very old sea reptiles. The bones were placed in a strange way. Some scientists said only a huge octopus or kraken-like squid could have done it. One scientist, Professor Mark McMenamin, has spent years trying to show that these giant squid were
Man,
real.
that's
He looked at the
crazy.
bones of a sea reptile called a Shawneesaurus, which lived 200 million years
Shawneesaurus.
ago. The bones weren't spread
Shawneesaurus.
out, and they were grouped together. He
Sparky.
also saw marks that looked like they were made by squid suckers, and the neck looked broken. So he
Hey, Sparky.
believes something big attacked it. The way the bones were placed is like how today's octopuses pull food to their homes. But this sea creature would have had to be over 30 meters long to kill and eat that big reptile. That's more than twice the size
That's
of
a
any
lot
squid
of
we've ever
carama-
found.
what they
was
call
the
it,
Kraken
calamari?
real?
Car-
Maybe. The old stories from sailors might not be all made up. And the deep ocean, which we still don't fully
Calamari?
understand, could have been, or maybe still is, home to a creature like the Kraken. Number 24, werewolves. Stories of humans turning into wolves go back thousands of years, from the Epic of Gilgamesh to ancient Greek legends. But some of these weren't just stories. One of the most scary real-world cases was the Beast of Gévaudan, a mysterious creature that frightened people in 18th century France. It attacked dozens of victims, but even big wolf hunts failed to stop the killings. So people began to wonder, was it one giant wolf or something more? Some believe it was just a very large predator, but others think it was something else
It could be a
entirely,
lion.
something sick. Some scientists think the werewolf story might be based on real things. One cause could be a rare illness called hypertrichosis, a
That's sad.
sickness that makes hair grow too much but doesn't change how people act, mixed with rabies, which can drive its host to bite
Whoa.
and fear water, even holy water. Rabies hurts the brain and nerves, causing confusion, anger, and sometimes making people see things that aren't real. It grows in the spit, so it spreads easily through a bite. Sick animals often become violent and hard to predict, and they turn on people without
Ooh,
warning.
look at that.
Number 23, trolls.
That was a
We've all
mean
seen
dog.
trolls in movies, huge, ugly giants
dog.
hiding under bridges. But in
Yeah.
old stories from Northern Europe, trolls weren't always huge. Some were
Yeah.
actually the size of regular people, with flat noses and rough features. Sounds strange, right? But some
seen
people
that movie.
believe
That movie is a
trolls
good
came
movie.
from real ancient humans
Troll?
called Neanderthals. These ancient humans lived mostly in Europe. They had flat noses, strong bodies, and they didn't look pretty, but they were smart, and they knew how to make tools. Here's the interesting part. Neanderthals disappeared about 40,000 years ago, but for thousands of years before that, they lived side by side with early humans. So after they disappeared, stories about them may have slowly turned into myths. People may have remembered them as strange, scary beings, and over time, those memories
That was
became
a
the troll
puppet.
stories we know today. Number 22, Cyclops.
Cyclops.
Have you ever heard of a creature so strange it had only one eye right in the middle of its head? That's the Cyclops, a giant said to live in dark caves, eating animals, and sometimes humans. Sounds wild, right? But here's the
Yeah.
shocking truth. This myth may have started with something real. Thousands of years ago, ancient Greeks
What?
discovered giant
Real?
skulls with a
No
huge hole in
way.
the center. They had no idea what elephants were at the time, so they
Oh, there
thought
were
the hole was
elephants?
an eye socket. To them, it looked like proof that one-eyed monsters once roamed the earth. But the truth? That hole wasn't for an eye. It was for a trunk. These Cyclops skulls were actually the turned-to-stone bones of ancient elephants like the Dinotherium or woolly mammoths. The bones were real, but the monsters were not. So the Cyclops wasn't born from pure imagination. It was a real fossil, misunderstood. Number 21,
Okay,
Bunyip.
okay.
In the deep
I like
swamps
that.
and waterholes of Australia, there's a terrifying legend, the Bunyip. Aboriginal stories say it hides near rivers,
this
waiting in
before.
the shadows. Some say it even attacks humans. But what makes this creature so scary? They describe it as a giant beast, like
That's
a
a
wombat
rat.
mixed
That's a
with something
giant
far
rat.
more
That's what
disturbing.
it
Others
is.
say it looked more like a black
A water
seal
rat,
with
yeah.
a bone-chilling scream
Yeah.
that could freeze you in place. Most today say the Bunyip is just a myth. But what if it isn't? Around 65,000 years
Paul?
ago, when the first humans reached Australia, they didn't walk into paradise. They walked into a nightmare. Towering reptiles like Megalania hunted the land, and meat-eating marsupials like Thylacoleo
that, he got
stalked
a-
the
like a
forests.
bag
Even the
down there, like
peaceful
a-
giants
what
like
the-
Diprotodon,
they call
a
that, a
wombat the
kangaroo?
size of a car, could have left behind footprints too strange to explain. So it's possible that ancient people saw these creatures, or their bones,
Amy.
and passed down what they remembered. Maybe they
Hey,
even
D,
heard
what-
strange
oh, I
cries
thought it
from
was Amy.
seals
Amy,
trapped
how you
inland
doing?
after floods and mistook them for monsters in the dark.
Good to see
So
you,
is
Amy.
the Bunyip real?
Hope you had a
Nice
good
to see
birthday.
you.
Not in the way we imagine. Its legend may come from real beasts
I
that
hope
once
you-
ruled
yeah,
Australia,
I hope
and
work is
whose
going
shadows
on.
still haunt its waters today. Number 20.
Number 20. Ads.
Be right back. My wife just walked in the door.
Okay.
Leviathan. Leviathan wasn't just a myth. It's mentioned in the Bible as a sea monster so strong nothing could tame it. But here's something even weirder. People all over the world talk
appreciate
about
that,
huge
Sparky.
sea monsters. Old Greeks spoke of snakes with very long necks, but
Amy,
sailors
I
in
missed you
Asia
so much.
and the Pacific said they saw massive shadows slipping beneath the deep dark waves. These people never met, yet described nearly the same monster. That's not a coincidence. Why did so many believe something like this existed? About 50 million years ago, a real sea snake named Palaeophis ruled the oceans. It was
I don't
over
think
30
I'll
feet
go
long,
on a
the size
cruise
of
ship
4 small
anytime
cars.
soon.
It lived in warm coastal waters, so people long ago could have found its bones or seen rare survivors. But scientists say
Yes,
it's
they
gone
do.
now.
All
Still, over
coastal
95% of the
somewhere.
ocean is unexplored. So some believe distant cousins may still be alive in the deep, causing modern sea serpent stories. But Leviathan might not have been a snake at all. Some stories describe it as something even bigger. There was a giant whale called Leviathan. It had teeth as long as your hand and hunted other whales. Some believe it even
That
fought the
giant whale?
Megalodon and won. So scientists named it after the famous Leviathan. Leviathan wasn't just a myth.
I mean, there's a whale that's bigger than what they call those, either the blue whale or the sperm whale is one of those big ones. And that bigger than that whale? Wow, I didn't even know they had big whales like that. Yes, Amy, I can't wait for you to come back. I'm still counting the days, the years, the month, and all the Twinkies that I'm gonna eat later.
It was inspired by real monsters like giant whales and giant sea serpents that once ruled our oceans. And maybe something just as terrifying is still hiding deep below the waves. Number 19, Chupacabra. The Chupacabra is a terrifying, blood-hungry creature, but it's not ancient. It appeared in 1995 in Puerto Rico when
Better
8
come
healthy
back.
sheep were
That's
found
right.
dead.
You
No
better come
struggle,
back.
just 2 holes in their
I miss
necks.
that.
No
Fatty?
blood. At first, no one had answers, but when nearly 1,000 animals died the same way, panic spread. Locals named the killer Chupacabra, which means goat sucker in Spanish. The name stuck. So did the fear. Witnesses described a short, muscular creature with claws and spikes down its back. Some said it jumped fences and vanished. Others saw a bald, dog-like beast with thick gray skin. The sightings spread. Mexico, Chile, Argentina,
giant
Florida.
squid is
The
real.
monster had gone global. Photos and videos surfaced. But one case stood out. In 2007, a woman in Texas found a strange dead animal near her ranch. Her chickens had been drained of blood. She froze the head and gave it to scientists. Scientists looked closer
That's
and
a
discovered
dog.
that most chupacabras were coyotes with mange, an illness that makes them lose hair and look strange. But mange doesn't drain blood. It doesn't leave clean bite marks. That's why some people still wonder
my
if the
Lord.
chupacabra might be real,
I
hidden in
missed
the
that.
shadows. Number 18, Hydra. Do you remember the monster Hercules fought? That terrifying beast with many heads? That legendary creature was called the Hydra. It
Goblin
sounds
type.
impossible, but here's the surprise. It actually exists. But don't worry, it's not exactly the nightmare from the myth. In ancient Greek stories, the Hydra was a deadly water monster shaped like a snake, known for one terrifying trick. If you cut off one head, 2 grew back. Even
Right.
worse, its breath was toxic enough to kill. Hercules defeated this beast during his famous 12 labors, making it one of the greatest stories ever told. The Greeks and Romans couldn't get enough of this story. It appeared everywhere, in paintings, pottery, sculptures, even coins. Clearly, this epic
Hold on. Did I hear this correctly? He said that they really exist? The Hydra?
Yeah, I didn't see how it went how with it yet.
Yeah.
Still talking about
Sean,
it.
how you doing?
Hey, Sean, PNP.
Yeah, I mean, how I mean, I thought that was just all, mythical legend. I mean, just legend. That's it. Huh.
battle fascinated them deeply. But here's the twist. A real-life Hydra exists today. It's not huge or deadly, though. This Hydra is tiny, only about 10 millimeters long, about the size of a grain of
There
rice.
you go.
It lives underwater and catches its food using stinging arms. Here's where things get even stranger. Scientists discovered something shocking about this little creature. It might live forever. In 2015,
It might live
researchers tried
forever?
many ways to kill the Hydra. They failed every time. Why? Because each time, the Hydra's cells grew back, keeping it forever young. Therefore, this tiny real-life Hydra could teach scientists something amazing about living forever. Ancient myths imagined an unstoppable monster, but nature created something even more incredible. A creature that never grows old. Number 17, vampire. We've all heard stories about vampires, creatures that come back to life, drink blood, and hate sunlight. But could some of these scary stories be true? Stories of vampire-like creatures aren't new. They've appeared in nearly every culture around the world for hundreds of years. In Eastern Europe, scared villagers once believed vampires were in their towns, so they put wooden stakes in dead bodies, thinking it was the only way to stop them from coming back to life. But why did people believe these scary stories? Part of the reason is simple. They did not know what happens to a body after death. Sometimes a dead body's nails or hair looked longer. Other times, blood gathered around the mouth. These odd signs made people sure the dead were not resting. They thought something evil was at work. These stories did not stay only in Europe. Similar creatures show up everywhere. Strigoi in Romania, Vrikolakas in Greece, Upir in Eastern Europe, Asenbosum in Africa, Fetala in South Asia. But they all have one scary thing. They come back to feed on the living. Could vampires be real? Some real sicknesses fit vampire traits. For example, porphyria is a rare blood sickness that makes people burn in sunlight, have painful wounds,
Yeah, I
dark
heard of
pee,
that.
and sometimes act strange. Sound familiar? Another sickness is rabies. Bats with rabies bite people, making them angry, see things that aren't there, or act odd. This might link vampires to bats. We may never know why stories say vampires hate garlic or silver, but rules like you must
Am I like that? I mean, am I like that? I don't think I'm mad or have rabies or anything like that. I don't even fly.
be invited in, or you can't step on holy ground, probably came from old fears and ideas. So Count Dracula is not real, but the fears and stories about vampires grew from real sights and real sicknesses. Number 16, Jersey Devil. Deep in the pine barrens of southern New Jersey.
Before we start that one, who wants to be a werewolf or a vampire? I'd rather be a werewolf. I mean, you'll still be old and you'll die, but I think being a werewolf is so cool. A vampire, not so much, because you actually have to kill the person, drink their blood, with that kind of make me vomit, and you may look ugly when you turn into a vampire. I mean, the cool thing about being a vampire, you could turn into a bat and fly away.
Then you live forever.
Yeah, but do you really want to live forever? You're gonna see all your friends, family die, and you're the only one still walking the earth. I don't know if I could do that.
Jersey, there's a creature that's scared the woods for hundreds of years. Since 1735, terrified witnesses have described something truly horrifying. A monster that's part goat, part bat, and part kangaroo. But its head looks more like a twisted horse, crowned with scary-looking horns. At night, it moves quietly on two legs, ending in sharp split hooves. Witnesses say it unleashes loud screams that echo through the forest, terrifying anyone nearby. Farmers regularly reported missing chickens, stolen by this mysterious predator. In fact, one farmer even shot at the beast, but no one could figure out exactly what he had seen. The legend says it all started when the creature was born to a witch, the wife of Daniel Leeds. Moments after birth, it sprouted dark wings, shrieked loudly, and vanished into the darkness, leaving only panic behind. But the fear was at its highest in 1909, when newspapers exploded with sightings, causing schools to shut down and workers to lock their doors, too afraid to leave home. The Jersey Devil, as it's known, is still a mystery even today. Is it a real monster hiding in New Jersey, or just an old story that got out of hand? Number 15. Ningen. In the early 2000s,
Really?
Japanese sailors spotted
you go
something
hunting for the
strange
Jersey
swimming near
Devil?
Antarctica. They called it Ningen. Imagine this, a creature with long, creepy arms and a body like a mermaid.
Oh,
Soon
that's
photos
scary.
popped up online,
is
claiming
scary
to
right
show
there.
this mysterious being. But sadly, most were proven fake. But here's the big question. Could a creature like the Ningen really exist today?
Nah,
Antarctica
I don't
is
think so.
huge, mysterious, and barely explored, so who knows what's hiding there? Scientists
rather
don't
be
know
me.
for sure, but they have some surprising theories. Some experts think the Ningen could actually be a swimming sloth called Thalassocnus. Sounds weird,
okay,
right? But
okay.
these sloths had long arms, perfect for swimming. Their fossils are often
They
found
don't
in
get
Chile
lost when
and
you actually
Argentina,
do.
two countries very
The
close
woods
to
are thick
Antarctica.
there.
Another shocking theory: the Ningen might be an ancient shark called Aquilolamna. This shark also had long
I never
fins,
seen that
swimming
before.
silently through prehistoric oceans, just like stories describe the Ningen. However, fossil records show that Aquilolamna disappeared around 66 million
Hold on.
years ago
Was
during
that
a
a real
huge
shark?
extinction event. But here's the
Yeah, one
twist:
time,
sharks are nature's toughest
prehistoric
survivors.
one.
Many have lived longer than dinosaurs and global extinctions. So what if Aquilolamna didn't disappear, but adapted, hiding in the frozen shadows beneath Antarctica? No one can say for sure. But the Ningen, whatever it is,
Man,
remains
that
one
is
of the
scary.
coolest,
What the
creepiest
heck?
mysteries our world has to offer. Number 14, Mothman.
Mothman.
Out of all the creatures on this list, Mothman is one of the most recent to appear. His story began in 1966. Not ancient legend, but modern mystery. His first sighting was in a small town called Point Pleasant in the state of West Virginia. And since then, the legend began to grow. Witnesses described a towering black creature with glowing red eyes, 7 to 10 feet tall, strong and bird-like, yet far too massive to be any ordinary
Yeah.
bird. Sightings started on November 15, 1966, and strangely, they stopped exactly 13 months later, on December 15, 1967. Why does that date matter? Because it's the day the Silver Bridge collapsed
Right.
during rush hour, killing 46 people, and 2 bodies were never recovered. Years later, author John Keel released a book called The Mothman Prophecies, claiming the creature was linked to strange activity and possibly even the bridge disaster. It was a bold claim, one that gave
Mothman's
Mothman a
your
chilling
favorite?
reputation. Over 100 sightings were reported in just that short window, and many locals later said they were too afraid
like
to
to go
speak
to
up
that
at
town,
the time.
though.
That's a lot of fear for a creature
I
no
wanna
one
see- I
truly
wanna go to that
understood.
town.
Was Mothman
Pleasantville,
evil? That's the
Pleasantville?
mystery. He never attacked, but people
West
said
Virginia.
he watched from a distance or banged on car roofs, especially when teenagers were inside. Compared to other scary creatures, that's pretty tame. Still, Point
Oh,
Pleasant
what
never
was
forgot.
that?
The town even built a statue in his honor, not because they loved him, but because his
go
presence
see a
left a mark.
statue.
Could Mothman have been someone
There's a
playing a
museum
prank?
right there, too.
Maybe, or maybe
Yeah.
something supernatural visited for a short
Hold on, you're
time, caused
Sparky?
fear, and disappeared
I thought
forever.
Sparky was
Whatever the
somebody
truth
else.
is, the fear he sparked
So how
was
many
real.
channels do
That's
you
why
have?
Mothman still haunts imaginations today. Number 13, Hobbits. Everyone knows hobbits as brave little heroes from the movie The Lord of the Rings. But what if I told you hobbits were actually real? Not in cozy homes with round doors, but in dark caves hunting dwarf elephants. In 2003, digging scientists made a surprising discovery on Flores Island, Indonesia. They found the bones of a tiny adult, barely over 3 feet tall. At first, scientists thought this was just a person with dwarfism, a condition that causes short height. But one strange feature made them think again: unusually large, early human feet. Since then, even more of these tiny humans have been found. Scientists name them Homo
Hold on.
floresiensis. We know them better as hobbits, and they lived between 50,000 and 100,000 years ago.
I'm sorry. I'm getting confused here, Face. Is Sparky another is you, or is it another person? Or you just having a conversation with yourself, having a split personality here. Now he says, sorry, Sparky. I don't know. Sparky is a YouTuber. Okay. But you have me confused. I don't know if Sparky was a real person or if Sparky is you. I don't know. Well, you're a real person yourself. Oh.
Alongside bigger, stronger humans. With brains about the size of a chimpanzee's, you'd think they'd struggle, but they didn't. They made stone tools and hunted animals, showing they were smart survivors. So what happened to these real-life hobbits? Humans happened. When modern humans arrived in Indonesia, competition likely led to the hobbit's sad extinction around 50,000 years ago. Not exactly the epic ending from Hobbit stories. Yet these real-life hobbits matter a lot. They show that human evolution isn't simple. Not everyone in our ancient family was big and tall. Some were small, clever, and completely different. Could these little humans have started local myths long before Tolkien imagined
Welcome
them?
back.
Number 12, El Gran Maja. Out of all mythical sea creatures, one beast recently emerged online, and it's quickly become the scariest legend of our time. Its name, El Gran Maja. Witnesses claim it lives somewhere
Holy
deep in the Arctic
crap.
Ocean, so deep that no sunlight reaches it. According to descriptions and illustrations, El Gran
Look like a
Maja
Joker
is huge,
smile.
over 2,000
Right,
feet
a
long.
smile.
That's the size of
Joker
6
smile
football
on
fields
there.
end to end. Its mouth, a nightmare, packed with hundreds of sharp teeth, wide enough to swallow a whale whole, and its face lined with 6 glowing white eyes that pierce through total darkness. But here's what made people start believing. A few years ago, researchers recorded
wanna see
eerie
my feet?
sounds
Why?
from deep underwater in the Arctic.
No.
Hey,
No.
Terrence,
I'm
you're
not
gonna
a
wait for me.
hobbit.
I gotta get to work.
This
I am
is
not a
important,
hobbit.
sir. I think your $10
I'm pretty tall.
worth
I'm
of
about at
popsicles
least
can wait.
Ha! I
10,
made
12.
$200.
That's supposed to be
Scientists said it
the
was
sound?
probably just ice breaking apart, but others disagreed. They heard something alive, something mysterious, calling from below the ice. The most chilling story comes from a deep ocean trip. As the team lowered a camera into the deep hole, something massive passed by. Not clearly visible, but big enough to block out the light. The footage never went public, but crew members reportedly left the mission and never returned to sea. So, is El Gran Maja real? Science says there's no proof. Yet the ocean is huge, deep, and mostly unexplored, especially near the frozen Arctic. Our fear of strange sounds, hidden creatures, and endless darkness makes El Gran Maja seem not just possible, but terrifyingly real. Therefore, until we explore every hidden corner of the sea, El Gran Maja is still a scary mystery. Maybe just a myth, or maybe the greatest secret hiding beneath the ocean waves. Number 11,
Thank you for the
Indus worm.
subs,
The Greeks
Sparky.
swore they weren't making it up. Over 2,000
Yeah,
years
face
ago,
kinda
they described a
confused me. I didn't
massive
know what
worm
was
crawling
going on.
through the Indus River. But this wasn't just some wild story. They insisted Indians hunted this creature to collect oil that could catch fire. Sounds crazy, right? It probably is. Today, there's absolutely no evidence such a worm ever existed in India. No remains, no sightings, nothing. Yet millions of years ago, a different giant roamed Earth. Its name, Arthropleura. This wasn't a worm. It was about 2.6 meters long, roughly the width
That's
of a school bus.
a
It crawled the
millipede?
planet long before dinosaurs even walked the Earth. So how did this real prehistoric giant become a legendary worm? Likely, the Greeks noticed locals using flammable oil. They couldn't figure out where it came from, so they mixed fossil discoveries with wild imagination. The result? A frightening and enduring myth, the Indus worm. Number 10, El Silban. This legend isn't just spooky, it's disturbing. Long ago, a spoiled boy demanded his father hunt for deer, his favorite meal. But when his father came home empty-handed, the boy snapped. He killed his father, tore out his organs, and handed them to his mother for dinner. At first, the
Dang.
mother didn't notice,
What?
but something tasted wrong. As she realized the awful truth, rage took over. She cursed her son forever. But when the grandfather found out what had
That's
happened, he showed
crazy.
no mercy to the boy and tied him to a post in the wilderness, whipped him until his back was ruined, and poured alcohol, chili, and lemon into the wounds. The punishment didn't end there. He stuffed the father's organs in a bag and strapped it to the boy's back. 2 rabid dogs were unleashed, but before they attacked, the old man sentenced the boy to wander the earth forever, dragging his gruesome load. He became El Silban, a towering skeleton-like figure up to 6 meters tall, with a sack of bones and a thirst for vengeance.
Yeah, I
Why
know.
the whistler?
I'm
El
with you,
Silban is
Porno.
known for his eerie whistle, notes rising one by one. Locals say if you hear the whistle close, you're safe. But if it sounds far away, death is near. He stalks the night, preying on drunks and unfaithful men, but anyone could be next. Hidden in the trees, he strikes fast, shredding victims and adding their bones to his bag. Even today, people in Colombia and Venezuela claim to hear the whistler at night. Is it just a
No
story to scare
way.
kids, or could something real be hiding in the darkness?
Oh, let's go hunting.
Number 9, Siren Head.
gotta go
Imagine a
hunting,
creature like
Sean.
nothing you've ever
I'm
seen,
not going to
tall and
Venezuela,
skinny,
Colombia.
almost 40 feet high, with a body that
Colombia,
looks like a
maybe. Venezuela,
rotting
no, I'm
tree.
not going
Where
there.
its head
Yeah.
should be, there are 2 giant rusty sirens.
Oh, I
Siren
heard
Head
about
stands
them.
completely
The
still.
siren?
Sometimes it blends in like a
Siren Head,
streetlight.
yeah.
From its speakers come terrifying sounds, static, radio chatter, and even voices that pull people closer. It has no face and no eyes, yet somehow it sees everything. It hunts in total silence. People say these creepy sounds are the last thing anyone hears before they disappear forever. Siren Head first appeared in a viral drawing by artist Trevor Henderson in 2018.
Sandra,
That's why
how
most
you
people think it's
doing?
just made up. But the truth may not
Sandra.
be that simple. Because when you really think about it, could something
Those
this
circuits
strange
going wrong.
actually exist? It sounds impossible until you learn about the Tully monster. It was a real animal that lived 300 million years ago. Scientists still don't know if it had bones or not.
That's
Its
the
mouth was
eyes?
far from its body. Its eyes were placed on a weird stalk. That setup looks a lot like Siren Head's strange body. So if nature made something as weird as the Tully monster, who says Siren Head is only a story? Today, Siren Head lives in modern urban legends. It shows
Yeah.
up in games, horror movies, and scary stories whispered by kids at night. Maybe it
Right.
started as fiction, but in a world where sound can fool your senses, where voices call your name from the shadows, maybe Siren Head isn't just a story we invented. Maybe it's something we remembered. Number 8, Manananggal. This is the one that gave me actual nightmares. If you're from the Philippines, you already know how terrifying this thing is. But if you're not, buckle up. She starts off looking like any ordinary woman. Beautiful, calm, maybe
Awesome,
even
I'm
married.
glad
But
you're
that's
doing great.
just the cover. Because when night falls, the truth
I don't know
crawls
how
out.
great
Her
you're
arms
doing
stretch
when
into
you're around
massive
ET.
bat-like wings. Her skin tightens. And then her body splits in half. Literally. The upper half comes off and flies into the night, while her
I
lower
don't know if
body
they ever
stays
met.
behind. Her insides, they hang down, moving slightly with the wind. Yes, you can actually see them. And it gets worse. She hunts in silence, flying quietly through the darkness. Her favorite targets? Sleeping victims. But she especially seeks out pregnant women. Using her long, thin tongue, she slips through open windows to suck the fetus straight from the mother's belly. When it comes to men, she tears out their insides and sucks out their blood. No warning, no mercy.
That's
Now
French
you're
kiss.
probably thinking, that sounds too wild to be real. But here's the creepy part. In some rural parts of the Philippines, people
Many of
believed
these
in her
sounds
so
like-
deeply that they changed the way they built their homes. Roofs were slanted, so she couldn't land on them. Windows were placed far from bedrooms to keep her deadly tongue out. So, is the Manananggal just a story, or was she something more? Whatever the truth is, one thing's for sure.
Never
She's not
ever a
just
dull
scary,
moment,
she's
night.
unforgettable. Number 7, Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga isn't your typical witch. She's one of the strangest legends to come out of Slavic folklore. And trust me, her story isn't just bizarre. It might be more real than you'd think. First off, there's not just one Baba Yaga. There are 3 sisters, all with the same name. Weird start, right?
What?
It gets weirder. Some describe her as a terrifying old woman, pale skin, wild hair, and a taste for children. Others say she's wise, even helpful, if you approach her with respect. So which one is she? Monster or guide? That's the twist. She's
Monster.
both.
I
In the
just say
stories,
monster.
Baba Yaga might test a hero and offer magical help, but she might also curse them, devour them, or vanish them completely. She's unpredictable. She decides who lives and who never returns. She lives deep in the forest, flies through the trees in a giant mortar, steering with a pestle like it's nothing. And her house?
That's
Not
weird.
a cave, not a wooden hut, a cabin standing on giant chicken legs. Yes, chicken legs.
Chicken
now that
legs.
sounds like pure fantasy, right? But here's where it gets chilling. In parts of northern Russia and Siberia, real forest huts were built off the ground, balanced on tall tree
many
stumps
lords,
with
huh?
roots that actually looked like claws. Locals used them to store food or even bones of the dead. From a distance, they looked like cabins with legs. And that's not all. Some scholars say Baba Yaga was inspired by ancient women, midwives, forest healers, and witches who were once respected but later feared. They lived alone, knew strange herbs, and when people got sick or disappeared, villagers didn't blame ghosts. They whispered it was Baba Yaga. Some even
Baba
carved
Yaga.
protective symbols into their
Baba Yaga.
homes, just in case. So maybe she wasn't just a story to scare kids. Maybe she was a memory of something real, a woman, a threat, a spirit people feared and tried to explain through stories. Number 6, Sea Eater Monster. This isn't just a story, it's a
What?
warning. The creature they call the Sea Eater is one of the biggest, strangest things ever talked about. But describing it, that's nearly impossible. It's just too big. Some say it stands 5 kilometers tall, 4.5 wide, and stretches over 25 kilometers long. That's bigger than most cities. Others
Mhm.
believe it's even larger. But truth is, no one really knows. The Sea Eater lives deep in the world's oceans, far from ships, far from people. But when it moves, it pulls itself through the sea, mouth wide open. It doesn't roar, it doesn't hunt, extinct. It simply swallows. Islands, ships, waves, gone.
What?
That's how it got its name. Witnesses describe a feeling of total fear, the kind that
Carla?
makes you freeze. People who've seen it say they felt small, like they didn't matter. Its body is covered in thick, rubbery skin, like a whale's, but somehow water flows through it, making it glide smoothly. Some ancient sailors were so shocked, they sailed straight into its mouth, staring in awe, unable to turn away. But its most terrifying feature? Two massive arms, not made of flesh, but of bones. From sea creatures it crushed. Each arm is taller than a skyscraper. They move fast, up to 1,000 miles per hour. It uses them to drag itself across the ocean floor, or reach for whatever it wants. It's rare to see, but sometimes it gets close enough to shore for people to notice. In 1927, a woman named Evelyn
Hold on, this
Berry
says rare to
sunbathing on
see,
the beach
meaning
when
this
she noticed
real?
something strange, what she called a moving mountain in the sea. She ran as it crept closer, terrified by the size and silence of the thing. In 1930, a fisherman and his father were casting nets in the deep Pacific. Suddenly, the older man saw a dark shape rising beneath their boat. Before they could react, the creature surfaced, capsizing their vessel. They were never seen again. The scariest story? In
Oh, man, that is
1862, the
freaking-
sea eater
freaking me
surfaced
out,
near an
man.
unknown coast. The waves it triggered reached 120 meters high. Tsunamis followed, flooding the land for over 60 years. Some people say these stories are just myths, but they keep showing up over and over again. Pirates told tales of serpents that swallowed the world. Religious texts mention the Leviathan, an underwater beast that punishes the wicked. Even Egyptian carvings show something eerily similar, a creature too big to understand, hiding below the waves. So where is it now? Most sightings come from the Pacific and Indian Oceans, rarely the Atlantic. But those who claim to have seen it believe one thing: if it shows itself,
Yeah, right?
something bad is coming. It never touches land. It seems to rot in shallow
Caspian
water
land in
like
the
it's
ocean?
allergic
It's
to it.
kinda-
But if it ever
it is
found a way to
stupid.
survive on land, the results would be catastrophic. Right now, it's been quiet, too quiet. Maybe it's sleeping, maybe it's watching, or maybe it's getting ready to rise again. Number 5, Mokla
I mean, that really freaked me out, man. It makes me feel like I don't want to go to the ocean no more. Because I need to take a boat to go to the island when I'm in Panama. And I look at the ocean and I mean, it's deep. Let me tell you, it's freaking deep. You can't see nothing. And now that I see this freaking thing, it's gonna get stuck in my head, and I'm going to Panama in New Year's.
Oh, when I saw Jaws when I was younger, I had a problem with the ocean too for a while.
Man,
I
that's
know I'm not
freaking
going
me
in there.
out,
Jaws is
man.
in there.
That really freaks me out, man. I don't know.
There's sharks. In there. I'm not going in there.
I don't know, man.
Mbembe. Probably heard of the Loch Ness Monster, but deep in
Monster.
Africa's Congo rainforest,
no,
there's a
no.
legend that's just as strange. It's called Mokli Mbembe, and for generations,
I heard
local
they are
tribes have
around.
claimed to see it. They're not alone. Some explorers say they've seen it
No,
too.
they're
They
not,
describe
bro.
a creature with
No,
a
they're
long
not,
neck,
man.
shaped like a dinosaur, specifically a sauropod. Not a giant, just medium-sized, calm and plant-eating. But here's the strange part: huge footprints, almost 3 feet long, found deep in the jungle. Sounds wild, right? Because according to science, all non-bird dinosaurs went extinct 66 million years ago. So how could something like this still be alive? That's the mystery. Could it really be a dinosaur? Maybe not. But what if it's something else? Like Chalicotherium, a strange, long-necked mammal that went extinct not too long ago. Some believe a few might still be hiding in the jungle's deepest shadows. And here's the thing: the
Hold on,
Congo
that's real?
rainforest isn't just massive, it's
Possibly.
unexplored. Think of
Oh,
it as
yeah,
the
I'm sure.
Amazon's mysterious
looked at that
twin.
film.
In a place like that, even the impossible can feel possible. But number 4,
All right, Sparky, you have a great one, man.
Cerberus. Cerberus, not your average guard dog. This beast had 3 massive heads,
Oh,
a mane
yeah.
of snakes, and a tail like a serpent. Legends say his eyes could turn you to stone, and his bite was laced with poison. Born from
I thought that was Medusa.
Looks like Cerberus
I
can
thought
do
that
it
was-
too.
Yeah. They're changing a lot of stories here.
Medusa, I know it can do it, but yeah, I think it's because of her
Beth, how
powers.
you doing? Yeah. I
Wasn't
don't know.
Cerberus? Wasn't that Medusa's dog anyway?
Well, the 3-headed dog? Yeah, but it never had snakes in the head. Not that I know. I knew it had like a tail, either like a scorpion or it was a snake or something, or that was the lion or something. I don't know. I knew that, but it never had snakes around the head like Medusa.
monsters, Cerberus was chained to the gates of the underworld. No soul escaped, and no living mortal entered without Hades' say-so.
Doing
Some
little
claimed
ass-
each head saw a different thing: the past, the present, the future. Others
The
believed he
underworld
symbolized
guardian,
birth,
yeah,
youth,
dog.
and old age. Either way, one thing's clear: Cerberus was the ultimate watchdog. Even heroes feared him. Orpheus tried to pass, so he played music to lull the beast to sleep. Hercules didn't bother with tricks. He wrestled Cerberus and survived. But Cerberus isn't just an old Greek ghost story. All across history, cultures imagined hounds guarding the border between life and death. Think of Anubis in Egypt or Garmr from Norse myth. Maybe deep down, we just like the idea of a loyal dog guarding us forever. Maybe that's why the myth stuck around, because somewhere it echoed something real. So could something like Cerberus be real? Not exactly the three-headed monster from myths, but nature doesn't play by human rules. Strange creatures do exist. In fact, scientists have documented animals born with two heads,
Yeah.
like snakes, turtles, and
I've
even
seen that
dogs.
before,
It's
yeah.
rare, but
Dogs?
real.
I never
These
seen dogs do
mutations
that.
may look bizarre, but they prove something important. Biology can break its own rules. Now imagine this. What if an ancient culture saw one of these animals? Not once, but again and again passed down in stories. Over time, it grows in size, gains more heads, and becomes a legend guarding the gates of death. Number 3, Charybdis. Most sea
Do they survive? I mean, they're born with 2 heads or born with 3 heads.
Yeah,
And-
some lived for a while. Some had, I know some didn't make it very long, but yeah, there were some animals that did.
Is that considered like
Wow.
what they call that conjoined twins?
Not too sure.
Huh.
Not really. I guess
Yeah.
if it's only two head, you're sharing the same body, and everything else is shared. I guess I don't know. I think
Right.
twins, you're conjoined, but you still have
I mean, having a 2-headed
I have a
dog,
separate,
that that would be cool.
separate things.
Yeah. Beware of my 2-headed dogs. Man, that's really
They would just
something.
eat
Though.
twice as fast, right?
Yeah, that's expensive right there. That's gonna be expensive. I mean, would yeah, that's another thing. Would they have 2 stomach, 1 stomach, 1 heart, 2 hearts? I mean, I don't understand, man. Life is so mysterious. I'm telling you.
monsters attack with teeth. Charybdis, she swallowed the sea.
They
In
just
Greek
eat
legend, she
twice.
lurked beneath the waves of the Strait of Messina, hiding under a jagged rock. But she wasn't alone. Across the narrow channel lived Scylla, a beast with snapping jaws. To pass between them meant choosing your death. Get too close to Scylla, and you'd be torn apart. Drift toward Charybdis, and your ship would vanish into spinning water. She didn't roar. She didn't chase. She waited. Legends say Charybdis would suck down huge amounts of water, holding it in her belly. But when she released it, the ocean twisted into a violent whirlpool, one strong enough to drag entire ships into the deep. Greek heroes like
Wow.
Odysseus and Jason faced her. Most never returned. Charybdis shows up again and again in ancient stories. Some believed she was a massive sea serpent with an endless thirst, so powerful it changed the tides. Her hunger shaped the rhythm of the sea itself. Today, science tells a different story. The whirlpools in that strait are real, but not deadly. They're just rough patches caused by crashing currents. They may tip over small boats during storms, but they don't match the monster in the myth. So why did sailors believe in her? Maybe the fear was real, even if the creature wasn't. Or maybe something was there, something no one survived long enough to explain. Number 2, Amelantuca. Most people have heard of the Amazon, but deep in Central Africa lies the Congo rainforest, even bigger in mystery and far less explored. It's a place where roads vanish, myths grow wild, and some say dinosaurs never really left. Locals speak of a creature called Amelantuca, which means elephant killer. That's already terrifying, but the details are even stranger. They describe a reddish-brown beast with massive legs, a long tail, and a single sharp horn jutting from its head. It doesn't eat meat, yet it's known to ambush elephants, not for food, but to defend its territory. The horn, thick like ivory or bone, strong enough to disembowel. Sound like a dinosaur? That's what many believe. It looks a lot like a ceratopsian, the horned dinosaurs from prehistoric times. But
Right.
scientists say those creatures vanished in the Cretaceous extinction. So what are people seeing? Some say it's a modern rhino, but there's a problem. African rhinos have 2 horns and short tails. Amelantuca has just 1 and a long tail. Therefore, some experts think it could be a completely undiscovered species, maybe even a distant relative of extinct beasts like Arsinoitherium or Megacerops, giant rhino-like animals that
Are
once
they
roamed
saying that
ancient
is
lands.
existing
Could
now?
one of them still be hiding in the swamps of Congo? If so, it didn't just
Maybe there's
survive
one hiding in the
extinction.
swamps of
One.
Congo. They're
Number
thinking,
one,
maybe.
chimera.
Oh.
Imagine facing a beast with a lion's head that breathes fire, a goat's head growing from its back, and a venomous
That's what
serpent
I'm
for a
talking
tail.
about right
Sounds
there.
impossible, right? That's the chimera, one of the most terrifying creatures in Greek mythology. According to legend, she was the daughter of Typhon, a monster so big he challenged the gods, and Echidna, a half-woman, half-snake creature. The chimera rampaged through the land of Lycia, burning everything in her path, until a hero named Bellerophon, riding the winged horse Pegasus, finally took her down. But even in death, the chimera's legacy lived on. Over time, her image spread across ancient coins, pottery, statues, even entire mountains. In fact, Mount Chimera still burns today due to natural gas fires leaking from underground. To the Greeks, those flames weren't just geology. They were proof the chimera had once lived there. But here's where it gets weird. The word chimera didn't stay trapped in myth. It followed us into science. Today, a chimera is real, but not in the way you'd expect. It's the name scientists use for any organism made from two different species. For example, in the 1980s, researchers fused a goat and a sheep embryo to create a real living geep, not a hybrid, a true chimera. Two embryos merged into one creature. Even stranger, some labs have grown human brain cells inside mice. These are also called chimeras, not terrifying monsters, but scientific wonders. Still, they raise an uncomfortable question. Where's the line between human and not? In 1998, two scientists even tried to patent a human-animal chimera. The government rejected it, calling the idea dangerous,
A
even
human
monstrous. So
animal?
we've gone from a fire-breathing myth to cutting-edge biology. And somehow, the chimera still feels dangerous, not just because of what it was, but because of what it might still become.
Wow.
Fascinating.
Wow. That is crazy. I mean, scientists, I mean, they gotta leave things alone, man. Let God do
Yeah,
his
don't
thing.
be trying to play guy like that.
Yeah, don't play God, man. Because
You can study animals, and this people make some work and all that stuff, and that's all fine, and understanding it and everything like that. But yeah, just start modifying stuff like that. That's yeah.
it's
I don't
just,
feel that shouldn't be going there.
I don't know. I just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. That's all I have to say. I mean, sounds right. Yeah. I mean, you don't know what you're making. I mean, you can make something, okay, a little baby, and then you mix it with a wolf, and turns into a wolf baby or something. It's just crazy. I mean, you could turn into a baby and a billy goat, and you have ET. I mean, oh, I'm sorry, ET man. But it just, you just gotta leave the world alone. Just leave God do his thing, and don't pretend that you're God. You guys want to see one more mythical creature type thing? That was pretty interesting, though. It's a short one, though. We're gonna do a short one. Acid rain. Polyton. Acid rain. Wow.
And trying to bring things back like the dire wolf.
Yeah, like the dire wolf. Yeah.
Or trying to finding dinosaurs and stuff like that. Why would you want to bring?
Didn't they try to bring back the dinosaurs? That's what you just said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They found DNA. I know they have dinosaur DNA. I think they found plenty of dinosaur DNA in eggs and everything like that. And
Did they find it in a mosquito?
I don't know. Yeah, I hope they have. They don't.
Mosquito in that yellow
amber. Yeah, I don't know. I remember going to the Field Museum downtown. They had that big prehistoric exhibit, and I don't want them to bring back mosquitoes, because back in prehistoric times, mosquitoes were massive.
Yeah.
One mosquito to suck you dry.
Really? I didn't. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think they did. That's right. They tried to do it to woolly mammoth because I think they have mammoth DNA.
Yeah.
So they think they are trying to do something with the elephant.
Oof.
Yeah, no big bugs, man. Don't be messing with the insects.
Yeah. Well, apparently, this person, this channel, mythical.
Also, the size of the cockroaches. Have you been to the Field Museum and seen that exhibit there? The prehistoric exhibit? The cockroaches are 4 or 5 feet long, 2-3 feet wide.
Where?
At the Field Museum, downtown in Chicago.
Yeah. They have those
The prehistoric stuff.
All right, we're gonna check
Like
this one out.
They got a lot of cool dinosaur bones and stuff like that there.
We'll check
That's
this
for
one out.
what is that? Sue, the
8
T-Rex.
minutes.
Yeah, that's an awesome skeleton. The
Mm,
T-Rex skeleton.
yeah, I like those dinosaur skeleton. K-Dog, what's going on, bro?
Hey, K-Dog.
All right, we're gonna check this one out. If it's the same thing, then I'll just cancel.
Survival to monsters still seen in the shadows. These beings were never just myths. Some were real and others still exist out there. Number 7, Kraken. As far back as the 12th
just saw
century,
the Kraken,
sailors
yeah.
and people living near the sea told scary stories about the Kraken, a giant sea monster that looked like a squid. They said it attacked ships and pulled them underwater. The story probably began in the waters around Norway, Iceland, and Greenland. It spoke of a huge creature with long arms that could grab whales or smash large ships. The Kraken didn't just attack, it pulled ships
Okay,
down
I'm
and made
looking
a
at
strong
this, and they're all the
whirlpool that
same.
sank everything
We've already
and
seen
everyone
that.
on board. Like many old stories,
Yeah, it sounds like the same person too.
Yeah. Yeah, we already seen that one. It is the same person. It's just this person don't have a lot of channels. I mean, a lot of videos.
As I shuffle this stuff around.
Yeah. Yeah, he don't have a lot of videos. He only has 4, 8, 10 videos. All right, how long is this one? 5 minutes.
Harry Potter. Nice. Never
Watching
seen
Harry Potter
before.
with his sister. Oh, cool. Harry Potter. You know they're making another movie, Harry Potter?
Well, now they're in college. They got a college.
No, and this one they have kids already, and I think the
okay.
kids.
Yeah,
look
I was
awesome.
say they're old enough to probably be out of college already. And
Yeah. Let's see. Colossus. Direwolf.
yeah, they want to call it the direwolf though. I don't know,
Yeah.
it's a cross.
They shouldn't call it a direwolf if it's not gonna be as big as the direwolf. Just call it a freaking.
It's not a full on direwolf either. You know, it's
Right.
cross with a gray wolf.
All right, this one looks different, but this one's only 5 minutes and 22 minutes. 5 minutes and 22 seconds. Let's see what this one
of the
got.
genus Homo have come a remarkably long way in the 2.8 million years of our existence. The last 200 years alone have seen extraordinary progress, bringing us modern technology and medicine that has extended the global average lifespan to around 73 years. But the road here has been anything but smooth. Humanity has endured countless hardships, many of them self-inflicted. And if we take a look back at history, it's astonishing to see just how short life was for our ancestors. For example, in 18th century France, the average life expectancy was only 27 to 30 years. In classical Greece, it was 25 years. During the Bronze Age, it hovered around 26 years. And during the Neolithic period, it plummeted to as low as 20 years. However, even with these numbers, modern humans, Homo sapiens, have had it relatively easy compared to other human species. Among all our evolutionary cousins, one species stands out as having endured the harshest existence imaginable, Homo habilis. These early humans lived around 2.3 to 1.65 million years ago, and hold the dubious honor of perhaps having the worst lives of any human species. In fact, research suggests that the average Homo habilis lifespan was a mere 12 years, less than 1/6 of today's global average. And shockingly, that estimate might actually be generous. When scientists analyzed 26 Homo habilis specimens, they noticed a striking lack of infant and neonatal remains. This suggests that many individuals.
You know why men don't live longer than women? It's because you women put us in an early grave. I'm just kidding, man.
Individuals likely died even earlier, making their average lifespan potentially even lower. Their short, brutal lives beg the question, what made their existence so unbearably difficult? To begin with, Homo habilis was physically vulnerable. They were among the smallest humans ever, averaging under 4 feet, 1.2 meters, in height, and weighing about 60% as much as modern humans. Their small stature made them prime targets for predators and prone to injuries. Adding to their troubles, they didn't have robust skeletons to help withstand the physical challenges of their environment. As partial partially arboreal creatures, they spent a significant amount of time in trees. However, their climbing abilities were less advanced than those of modern apes like chimpanzees. Falls were likely a common and potentially deadly occurrence. Their bodies still retained ape-like features, such as longer limbs and curved fingers, which helped them climb. But these adaptations came at the cost of greater vulnerability on the ground. One of the biggest challenges Homo habilis faced was their diet. Surprisingly, these early humans weren't strict vegetarians. Instead, they were avid meat eaters. Their large incisors and powerful mandibles allowed them to tear through tough flesh. However, this meat-rich diet often forced them to leave the safety of trees and venture into dangerous territory. To make matters worse, Homo habilis were scavengers, relying on carrion for sustenance. Their small size and primitive stone tools left them poorly equipped to fend off competitors. At best, they could scare away jackals or cheetahs from a carcass, but they lived in regions teeming with predators far more fearsome than those. Living in East and South Africa, Homo habilis faced a staggering variety of predators. These included over 30 species, ranging from saber-toothed cats to giant crocodiles. One particularly
Batty?
terrifying predator was the Meganterion, a saber-toothed cat about the size of a jaguar, but far more powerful. Its lion-sized limbs ended in razor-sharp claws, and its canines could deliver a fatal bite to the throat in seconds. But sometimes the Meganterion used an even more gruesome tactic, smothering its prey by clamping its jaws over the entire head. In fact, scientists discovered a Homo habilis skull with puncture marks on the back of the head, suggesting it fell victim to this horrifying method. If that wasn't enough, Homo habilis also had to contend with the massive Pachyrhinocuta, a hyena-like predator that weighed as much as a lioness. With one of the strongest bone-crushing bites of any land mammal, it could shatter bones to access marrow, making it a nightmare for scavengers like Homo habilis. Smaller but no less dangerous were the Chasmoporthetes, also known as the running hyenas. These dog-like predators were fast, hunting in packs and outpacing the relatively slow Homo habilis. Even water wasn't safe. Homo habilis had a penchant for
Boy,
fishing, which brought
they
them
had it
into
deadly
close
everywhere.
contact with colossal crocodiles. One such species, Crocodylus anthropophagus, literally human-eating crocodile, was over 25 feet long and weighed 1.5 tons. Fossil
wonder a lot of them
evidence
are
shows it
extinct.
attacked Homo
We
habilis,
got our-
often
we got
dragging
our revenge
victims
later on.
underwater to drown them, or performing death rolls to rip limbs off.
Once we learn how to
Another
make weapons.
crocodilian, Rhamphosuchus, was even larger, stretching up to 26 feet. Its broad jaws were likely adapted for crushing armored prey like turtles, but that didn't stop it from occasionally snacking on our ancestors. The dangers weren't limited to predators. Territorial herbivores like prehistoric rhinos, elephants, and hippos also
Batters.
posed threats. Although they killed less frequently,
Homo
encounters
batters.
with these massive animals could easily turn deadly. Even Homo habilis' diet contributed to their suffering. Their reliance on tough, fibrous food and meat caused severe dental issues. Analysis of their teeth shows extreme wear and damage, with most individuals suffering from cracked or broken teeth. For a species that rarely lived past 25 years, this kind of dental trouble would have been debilitating. In many ways, Homo habilis epitomizes the brutal realities of early human
don't have
life.
dentists back
Small,
there either.
vulnerable, and surrounded by danger, they had to
That
fight every
with the
day
freaking
just to
pain and
survive,
everything.
and often lost that fight before reaching adolescence. Their struggles remind us of just how far humanity has come. The next time you enjoy the comforts of modern life, take a moment to reflect on the hardships endured by your distant ancestors. Their sacrifices paved the way for the extraordinary progress we now enjoy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
That's just messed up, man. That's just crazy how our lifespan is, you know. But today's lifespan, I mean, we end up. It depends on who you are, but you know, we live longer now. I think what our lifespan is close to like 80 to 85 or
70
90.
somewhere, yeah. I think in the
Yeah.
70s, the average or something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people even. I've seen one that this old lady, lived up to 114. Was it? 114 years old. So it's possible. It's possible because she's seen all her family die. Look, my mother-in-law, she's 90 years old, and the majority of all her friends and family already passed on. You know, and some passed on before. You know, like her grandson, one of her grandkids, died before she did. So it's crazy. You live that long, but you see your family members pass. Die. I mean, that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But then again, she get to see her great grandkids. grow up. So I mean, she's a very strong woman. God bless her for that. Very
Well.
strong woman. I mean, I wish I could live that long, but I say this: if my wife died before I do, I'm not gonna live any longer.
It's awesome,
I'm-
K Dog. Let us know when you're in town.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Chicago, huh? Chicago. Well, anyway. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. You guys have a safe and lovely weekend. Travel as you can. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time. Same bad channel. You guys, where's my thing? Oh, here it is. All right. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Love you guys. Later.
Cool, K Dog. Keep us in touch. Keep in touch with that.
Yeah.
God bless you all.
October 3rd, huh?
Third week in October. Yeah.
All right. See y'all.